hero is just not a strong position 5, and I feel like the Morphling really wants a better laning stage support. So I'd be worried once the 2s come through and if they can zone them out enough for the Morph.
Oh, I wouldn't say Brew's not a strong 5. In the laning stage, he's not.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
amazing.
and I think that's what you need for the Mars, though. Sorry, for the Morphling, especially in this matchup. Like Rubick Mars. Look at, like, Grimzx just loses his health pool. Okay, that's fun. I went up and clapped and took 3/3 of my health.
He got the range creep though, baby. That's a win. But you can see there with Marvel, he's got the Orb of Venom, so he knows exactly what Grimzx is going to do every single time. Even this, just trying to trade hits with Hishgee, you're not able to. Fate Bolt just reduces the damage that you're doing, and you're going to win out on the trade every single time.
Yeah, it's Rubick always known for being one of the best to be able to trade with the right clicks and even taking a look at top as well. So Monkey King going up against the Sand King. A melee matchup. Is this lane going to get any easier for the Sand King once he gets levels though?
Easier for the Sand King.
Yeah, like, I mean, already at the start it's pretty rough for the Sand King, but if he gets some levels, will it get any easier for Van?
I think it's just all about Erice. Granted, like, Phoenix isn't the hero to do it, but it's just about him making space as much as possible for him so that he can, you know, get some of that solo experience, maybe even stack up some of these these jungle camps. But 1-2-3 is a little far forward, to be perfectly honest, taking a lot of unnecessary right-click damage, and he's already gotten rid of all of his tangos by the 2-minute mark. Here it goes.
I should have been watching. I said the level 2s. I'm like, that's when it's gonna happen, and oh, it does. Grimzx pays the price. Hishgee's able to pick up first blood, and already had an incredibly dominating performance in that first game, and picking up first blood's going to continue to enable him.
The next label play. Greetings.
Sanctity, he's having a pretty decent time in the mid lane. You know, obviously going the 2 points into the Avalanche just to be able to continue the harass out. Of course, Tree Grab, not the most mana intensive spell that you can have there. You're getting some good right clicks out onto the puck to harass him down.
And you see as well, like, the Tiny has a very good damage advantage as well. 75 at the moment, then, you know, including the Quelling Blade as well, and not even if he doesn't have the tree. So Puck's damage has been nerfed over a couple of patches, so it does slightly make it difficult for him, but at least Puck's still CSing relatively strong.
I mean, all of his other damages have been buffed though. They're like, hey,
yeah,
this is really strong hero, let's give him more damage in his spells. That just means that Hishgee's rotation for the 4-minute rune is just going to be even more critical to how this mid lane matchup turns out. With the bottle being picked up, ferried through to Jamesy now, it's going to be a lot harder for Sanctity to try and contest this, or a lot easier, in fact, if he's able to fill up his bottle.
It's always important with us being able to see. Oh, might lose a courier though. It's a decent amount on it too. Stick looks like it was actually the full one there from Ace. He still doesn't get any extra regen though.
Man, it doesn't matter if Erice is playing the Bounty Hunter, the Phoenix, he is a courier fiend.
So it's just the right place at the right time.
Grimzx is going to be able to make it to this 4-minute rune a little bit before the Rubick, and yeah, that's going to cost him. Some decent harass able to now be put out, now that he's level 2. The Cinderbrew does a decent amount as well.
Bro, supports are coming over.
Body block's nice.
He might actually have to run back to Sanctity here. He needs help, but he's running away. Telekinesis drag back. Finally, he's going to run back to the Tiny. Does have 3 points up at the Abra. Now with the toss connecting, Tiny gets enough burst potential. And Grimzx clap. Can he close the distance? Even Mars is going to join the fight. Grimzx, has he gone a little bit too far here? Heavy amount of emphasis in this battle in the river, but it looks like Grimzx might be able to scurry away, although Sanctity pops the mango, and that's enough for Grimzx. I'm like, ooh, maybe got a little bit too cute there, dropping the average, just running away, but really nicely done. Lilgun, 3 kills already.
So through all of that, Marvel was just continuing to trade against Abat, but Abat's very happy to be left solo against this sort of lane. High kill potential, like we keep being saying, so you know, even though it was only rotating for a couple of deaths there, it was a ton of space created by the Grim's Brewmaster. Now Vanny's got 1 stack up here on the top side, so he does decide to. He can look to rotate through. You're always a little worried against the Keeper of the Light though. You know, you're like, oh, I'm just going to take this stack. He's like, well, nope, it's mine.
still a great start to how the lanes have been looking so far. I'm keeping the eyes on you know, how Puck's rotations are going to come through once you pick up that ultimate, but level 5 already on the Morphling, so he's well and truly out of the weakest stage, where now he can kind of start the pressure and really get that full utilization of the attribute shift to bounce back up and forth from that.
1, 2, 3. He's having a good time up top. I guess this Sand King, yes, like we've been mentioning, it can be a bit of a rough at time. He's actually going to back out of the Sandstone. I'm not sure about how I feel about that, but it's going to cost him certainly at least a good part of this creep wave. Of course,
Can he get the Ginger?
yeah. Only the 1 point. He's got the Orb of Corrosion, so some good chasing potential there. Yeah, just the 1 point in the Sandstorm, such a long cooldown that you always have to be a little bit careful about how aggressively you are moving and breaking your own Sandstorm.
Still continuing to put a lot of pressure on Abat as well. So this laning stage, Lilgun really utilizing their strong lane advantage that they have to try and make sure that Radiant aren't able to get any free CS. But you know, Jamesy's got the level 6, and if we can get a nice value in the power rune as well, we might start to see the rotation come through from the Puck, because these side lanes, you know, are gonna definitely need it pretty shortly. Excited to see Sanctity on a bit of a different kind of hero as well. We've seen him on a lot of these, you know, carries, the Morphling. We saw him have some incredibly strong performances on the Templar Assassin as well. So just a little bit different of a role in the Tiny. Definitely someone he can still take over the game with if he has a good start.
Yeah, and that's really what's going to be the difference maker. As they make an attempt here onto Hishgee, he should be able to get away. In how I view their prospects moving forward, like, are they a legitimate chance to avoid relegation out of the lower division? If they can do it with playing, like, what, Hishgee on a hero that doesn't want to be, like, right up in the middle of a team fight, and then this Tiny, of course, on Sanctity that isn't a traditional hard carry, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about Lilgun's chances.
Yeah. Yeah, the first couple of series, we weren't really seeing the variety in their hero pool, but now so far, you know, we're seeing Hishgee on some couple of different heroes, seeing Sanctity on a couple of different heroes. 1, 2, 3 still kind of likes those, you know, cheese picks and a lot of the summons, Morphling. Jamesy, though, they went a little bit too aggressive for Abat, and they're going to pay the price as the coil breaks for the Rubick, and Jamesy finds the extra for Marvel as well with that coil breaking too. So exactly like I was saying, Jamesy gonna have some emphasis on with these rotations. If it's too hard to bring the morph down now with the level 4 in the attribute shift, so it's maybe you can get a spear in the nighttime, but if that's not the case, then you know, diving too far, Puck's always got that TP potential, and perfect timing as well, because Erice is soaking up experience mid, so they're min-maxing perfectly across the map.
Yeah, and I think just abusing the particular item build that they went on Hishgee as well. He went for the urn, but he hasn't got a kill since picking it up. And I feel like that's because of Grimzx just positioning himself a lot more defensively, for one, when he does come to the lane. But straight up, he just hasn't come to the lane. He knows and realizes how strong the kill potential threat is with Marvel and Hishgee on this Mars-Rubick combination. And, well, because of that, not only does Abat have the inbuilt mechanisms in the Morphling to be able to get rid of all these sorts of ganks, he's just been able to continue farming. So this bottom lane's going really well for Cignal. One thing, now hear me out. What if the Morphling went Axe Shard? So it gives him the adaptive strike, strength and agility, and he uses that to snap the coil, because it hits 2 targets, the strength one. It pushes it back a fairly decent amount.
I was gonna say, what? So his strength has to be 50% higher than agility for the maximum stun knockback. Interesting.
But even if you're standing right on the edge, it still gives a little bit of knockback.
Yeah.
It can be enough to break the coil.
That's some next level theory crafting. I mean, if you're gonna get it, I feel like, yeah, if you're gonna get it, I feel like you do it when Puck has Ags, right?
Yeah.
Because yes, there's still a lot of value, even if it just breaks regardless. Like that break damage 300, stuns 1.8, so it's still a decent amount. But I'm all for it. It's all got to think about these slight little mechanics, and when you can, you know, get a unconventional item to work in your favor.
Well, they've been able to pin Abat. He's reasonably agi-morphed. He's going to be able to put a few more into the strength now and get away, but yeah, it just highlights the fact that he really doesn't care. As long as he's not caught out full agility, he's not going to die.
Even though Van wasn't able to get, I mean, he's still got 67 last hit, so he still had a very good lane, hasn't died. He's also level 8 as well. So yes, I mean, Lilgun, now they've been, unfortunately, had to give up 3 kills to the Puck's rotation. So this is going to continue to grow because Puck, he's got 1600 gold. I feel like this game is a lot on the mid plays because we're going to see them both getting up a very fast blink dagger and how much of an impact they can have in the side lanes. And
I mean, Van's already got his. It's just coming out to him on the courier right now. So he's going to wait for this to be delivered. Maybe TP towards this mid lane. Oh.
Sanctity. Such a... He's just a bossing up there. Drop the combo, run away before even seeing that the enemy, you know, hero is going to die and roll out as well. Just
a lot of damage.
There's a Chad.
Got the Keeper of the Light there. Just going to pop the Chakra Magic onto him. He can go again straight away.
Yeah, such a nice thing, and we're gonna see, like we in our first series, down bot, Epi Van reveals the blink. It's so much damage here where they can just turn once again with the rotation. Abat utilizing the replicate 1, 2, 3, showing up down bot. He's got some jingers, but it will not matter as 1, 2, 3 will fall, and James is still hunting. He shows up as well. The big ultimates coming through from Cignal, and the rotations so far have been on point from the cause.
Oh, turns out Puck's a good hero. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there is a reason that I harp on about it. It's just way too strong at every single aspect. You know, it's so hard to get harassed in lane. You've got rotations, you've got scalability, you've got a silence, which is pretty damn rare in the game these days. So...
And it's not even just a basic silence as well. You even get a little bit of distance with it as too, and like the cast animation isn't crap. It's you got the full toolkit.
Yeah, you have the flexibility of where you play it. You can go, like Jamesy has opted to go with the power treads, just to be able to contest a little bit easier against the tiny, or you can go the boots of travel. I like it. I don't like the Switchblade as much, though. I guess with the build that he's gone, it's okay, considering he's got the 2 null tallies, he's got the power tread, so he can be in-switched. That is a lot of right-click.
Yeah, with the if you get it with the 30 damage, it does an immense amount of work. It's definitely something that Europe like a lot, but haven't really been seeing it transition too much down here. Oh, Sanctity. With this blink burst him under the tower. He's got to be careful though, because the coils drop 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have the Wukongs. Might have had to place it defensively. He's tiny, taking a lot of the magic damage from Jamesy, but when the combo's already been used, it looks like they're okay. So now with the blink online from Tiny, this is go time, and it's going to be enabled because, you know, Tiny's a hero that lacks the mana pool and also a little bit of mobility. So the fact that you've got a Cuddle which can just both amplify that.
He's recalling him back in straight after he TP'd to base as well. They're going to smoke off of this. Yeah, he switched it in his backpack. Monkey King's just going to...
They're going to have to go now, though.
Yeah, a bit of bait in the mid lane, but yeah, Marvel is dead. He's going to get off the arena. No, the stun from the Brewling. Really nice.
Let's see if they try and turn on top of the Rubick here. Grim, Cyclone Dot. Nice try and follow up from Sanctity, but they're able to drop the Supernova. Lilgun trying to turn to deal with it, but the Fire Spirit's slow. It's not enough. Phoenix will fall. Now Grim's going to get tossed up into the air as well. 1, 2, 3. Holds it with the Boundless. And guess who? Hishgee finds a double.
This camp that's been stacked up a couple of times as well. I wonder if they're going to give it over to Ace just so that he can a bit closer to his next timing start. This is the Maelstrom. Makes total sense on 1, 2, 3.
Sanctity's got to be careful actually here. James has got an Arcane Rune, and yeah, with the Witchblade, the damage starting to stack up. He almost burst down Van, but it doesn't matter. A Bat coming through, KSing that one, and meanwhile Morphling's just been free farming. Had a very good lane, 204, 96 last hits, and he's going for the Sunjin Yasha, probably into what's going to be the Aghanims.
I don't know what... I'm a big fan of Sanctity. I'm not sure what he was doing there, giving up a kill streak. He was running around within the Sandstorm, which has been maxed out. So you're just taking like 95 damage a second for no reason. And his team was all grouped up on the right. Seems like he could have very easily gotten away, or at least forced them to give up 1 kill in exchange.
Is Overwhelming Blink as your next item a... bit of a
greedy play.
Interesting choice to put it to say the least.
I mean, it's interesting. There's no doubt about that. I mean, let's think. What else would you possibly want to go? Maybe an Echo Saber first to build into it, so you've got that additional burst potential. You've got some farming potential as well. It gives you some strength anyway, so you're fine to transition then into the Overwhelming Blink for the additional follow-up. I think that would make a lot more sense.
Radiant.
He still does only have the 1 point in the tree though. The tree grab. So,
Ace. The ward dropped on the high ground here. They're going to try and bring him down. Nice call as well. Means that Mars not going to be able to get the greatest arena. It looks like still toss up in the air. They're able to find the puck. Now with the supernova on Radiant. Really turn it on its head. Forcing Lilgun to retreat away, but they won't be able to do so as Abat finds a double. They're still chasing Hishgee. Van's got the follow-up, but now look at that Sunray go to work. Erice has already got it maxed out. He stole the Burrow Strike. So he's able to get out of the trouble zone there. But man, Radiant, they've got some decent team fight abilities as well.
Just the power of that instant silence coming through from the puck means that there's absolutely nothing that this Keeper of the Light can do. You can see he's forced into going the Glimmer Cape, which typically you just don't want to do. I'm not sure about the decision to go the Shadow Amulet first either. I feel like, you know, maybe you're able to dodge out a lot of that burst damage if you go the Cloak just for the magic resistance.
I'm still trying to think of... he hasn't queued anything up but the Overwhelming. Like, it's so much gold. It's six and... What?
When you need to be this playmaker, I feel like you need another transitioning item. Yeah,
like it's all on this one item that doesn't give you... It gives you 25 strength. Like that's it with the little bit of plus that you get from it. We see a lot of time, you know, the Blink, Echo, BKB, which I think is a must this game. And the Echo is also going to help with, you know, bursting, helping with the egg. I've been very impressed with Sanctity's performance. This Overwhelming Blink, I'm intrigued to see how it works. But the scary thing is that Abat has just been continuing to look on another level. It's got to be careful though. Wave falls pretty aggressively, still able to get the attribute shift off, but looks like he's just baiting as Cignal want to turn to the river. Van, burrow in, drops the MP. Sanctity's going to try and burst down Erice, but he's unable to do so. Now Hishgee gets chased down, meanwhile they're simultaneously jumping Sanctity. 1, 2, 3 is actually going to try and jump one in. They're dropping the arena, but the Wukong's still on cooldown, but it's not going to matter. They've got the damage to be able to go through the Brewmaster, and now, nice supernova up to the high ground, but Sanctity's going to be able to follow up with the combo. Now they're going to try and Durn to deal with it. However, cancels that one, the beautiful bow, but where's the extra damage? Puck's just not there at the moment. 1, 2, 3. The Wukong's dropped. There's absolutely nothing without any stuns. He's going to try and TP out. Jamesy, unfortunately, a little bit too late. Sanctity actually goes back in. Sacrifices his life for the kill.
I don't know about giving 500 gold away to a puck, but great counter initiation coming through there from the Sand King, making sure that the egg is able to pop. Sure, it's at the cost of the Keeper of the Light's life still, but you know, it's a pretty big deal just to be able to continue to snowball off of the early game, but that kill on the Morphling definitely does slow down some of his timings.
Yeah, the first death of the game here for Abat. Been a very good showing so far, so he's going for the E-Blade as the next item too, but it's net worth-wise very even, but it feels like Cignal have been getting the upper hand in these past couple of fights.
Now, I feel like I called out the item progression that Hishgee would be going. I'm not sure about this disassembling the arcane boots to build into the tranquils before you actually have your Aether Lens.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Oh. Speedy. I don't know anything about it.
I am speed.
I am speed.
Okay, he's given over the keen optic as well. Come on, Sanctity. I know you're close to your stuff, but Aether Lens pretty good. I guess it's important for him not to get caught out. Like he's been able to finish the Reaver at least, so that's a lot of extra HP now, an extra 500 the Tiny just from picking that up.
Hopefully he's able to survive a little bit of the burst at the moment. But Radiant, they're going to smoke up. Well, they got the combo. Everything's up, ready to rock and roll. 15 talent as well for the Morphling. It's going to be relatively nice with that replicate. And They just don't have the higher gun ward, so they're going to be careful. But Dire aren't set up at the moment. They're going to try and blink forward on Sanctity. Just freshly prepped up the Reaver. But is that extra health enough? It's not. He's still going to get brought down, and now along with the backline, they still have Coil. A nice stolen ability, but Hishgee is going to pay the price. Here's Grimzx chasing down with that primal split. Dire mirroring the movements. They're trying to come over, but it's just way too late. Like, you had a couple heroes set up on that high ground, but you weren't all there to break the smoke and take a fight in a choke point.
True, but they basically used nothing there, and the heroes that died on Lilgun are going to be respawning around the same time in 20 or so seconds. So if they're able to all group up together, you know, maybe even the Keeper of the Light can just pop his ultimate, recall them down there immediately as soon as the Rubick respawns. They can put some serious effort into taking this tier 2 tower. Let's see if he opts to do so. There we go, calls one.
They're caught out though. Grimzx drops the arena for that. Showing up, Hishgee going to be able to rejoin them. Tiny coming through the mid lane as well. Morphling's very far away from the team. He's cut out, and now, ooh, nicely done from 1, 2, 3 on top of the backline. Erice drops the supernova. 1, 2, 3. Probably not needing the BKB there, even with the phase shift. Well, they're now charging up the epicenter. They're going to try and turn this into a massive Burrow Strike combo as well. Sanctity falling incredibly low. They're not staying on top of the Tiny at the moment, but they're kiting Jamesy. Without the stuns, they're not going to be successful at locking him in, so the monkey, just unable to flee the right click, finally drops the balance. But where's the extra follow-up? Sanctity blink, ready to rock and roll for a nice disengage from the Sand King. So a bit wonky there. I mean, they find 2 kills. Both Grimzx and Erice will fall, but 1, 2, 3 popping a BKB a little bit unnecessarily.
Yeah. I liked what Lilgun were doing there, though. You know, it's just like I was talking about, that you need to make sure that you're abusing, you know, Dream Coil has such a low cooldown, but that just means that any opportunity that you have to fight without it is so vital, right? Because you saw right at the end there, it was only dropped towards the latter part of that team fight. It didn't have any impact, and they were still able to get off a couple of key kills. It was purely on Van's fantastic epicenter that they were able to clean up anything from that fight.
Yeah, I've seen some impressive epicenters so far in this game. Back they go. Why not smoke up? Even though you got Epi on cooldown, even you got Supernova on cooldown. Try and walk down the lane. Dire are kind of grouped up around the choke point. The scan connects. Let's see if they jump forward instantly. Burrows up the mark. But chuck out the primal. The initiation wasn't on point. They're kiting this fight back further. That actually gets out of range of the ultimate here from the arena. But now Van's in trouble, however. Can they bring him down? Coil back and ready available, Jamesy. Telekinesis it up. No one's died just yet, but the extra controls lackluster. That almost melts through Marvel. Will be able to do so successfully. Now with the buybacks, Lilgun, they want to punish this deep dive, but can they do so successfully? It looks like Grimzx, just a sacrifice.
It's just a
to run on forward. Yeah, they're fine with that. You can kill me. The rest of the team's just disengaging. Maybe Sanctity might be able to find Erice as well. Dive's still on cooldown, but he's way too far away from the rest of the team.
Look at this. They got the Blink Epicenter ready, man. They're trying to bait him in a little bit here. Wouldn't surprise me if he even went forward and tried to bait him out.
Sanctity?
Who needs to? You can just solo him.
He was trying to bait them to maybe jump. I thought he knew they were on the high ground and right-clicking the neutrals. I think he was waiting for the team to follow up, but
yeah, this is
not the performance we saw from Lilgun in game 1.
That being said, they're not horribly behind. It feels like they could come back at any stage if they just got their shit together, basically, you know. They've never been perfectly coordinated. It's just been like a couple of seconds either way. I thought they could have been a little quicker when they were making that attempt in the Radiant jungle to use the recoil. It means that the Morphling wasn't there for the majority of the team fight and they weren't able to win because of it.
Morphling's already got E-Blade. I'm surprised, honestly, he's not going for the Aghanims, but he's just wanting to go for the kind of the stock standard build, the SMY E-Blade into the Skadi. So he's a big boy at the moment here for Abat. I'm very impressed, but it looks like Dire, they're grouping up. Puck's got the Aghanims though completed. He's super scary. 8, 2, and 6 right now for Jamesy.
Sure. We got here. I feel like, yeah, Hishgee, it makes sense. He's holding both the Philosopher's Stone and the Keen Optic. It's very important that he gets this blink available, as well as eventually into an Aghs, just to combine together with, like we've mentioned before, the Sand King, fantastic. The Brew, fantastic. The Puck, fantastic. So many great things to be able to steal. but you have to feel a little bit for Ace. He's just holding onto the trusty shovel right now. It's very value, you know, you're essentially getting a bounty rune occasionally. Worst case, you're probably going to get a TP scroll. It's a free 90 gold every minute or so.
Yeah, especially as a hero that's not getting as much farm, you'll get whatever you can get right now on the cuddle.
Radiant's top tower.
So who's this this bit of a lull in play favoring? You would have to say...
I feel Cignal, right? I think Morphling wins this game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Monkey King, he's getting closer to his Aghanim Scepter, which I think is going to be a big factor. You know, if he's going to be able to drop those monkeys right in the middle of a team fight, even if he's getting fully controlled up by the Sand King. I think Van's been playing a fantastic game. It isn't really going to matter all too much because you're still going to at least be able to get that some form of burst damage off onto him, and then after that, once he picks up the Skadi, I think that's the next item he's going to go beyond that. It does start to perhaps lean a little bit more into Lilgun's favor. It's just, can they get to that point of the game is the real question.
Dire's top tower is under
And still this T1 tower being up at 26 minutes in, it's a bit of an issue. It's giving Radiant way too much map control. You see they're looking to trade it for top, however. They are coming back as well, James. He drops the coil. You've got to keep in mind, this is an Aghanim's coil as well. So the Monkey King pops the BKB. Sanctity jumping in forward. James might actually get bursted down to get the speed just off the mark thanks to Fashion. And Abat's in as well with a beautiful supernova. They're all looked in, looking to pop. And Erice burning him down with a sun ray. Just an incredible fight once again. They're unable to find the puck, surviving on a minimal amount of HP as Cignal Ultra punished them from trying to move aggressively underneath the tower. 5 will fall. It's a wipe here as Cignal go inside the Roche pit.
The Monkey King just did one of my biggest pet peeves in Dota. Like, he gets caught out under the coil, that's fine, you know, it happens. But then he waits like over half of the duration in the coil, just walking around doing nothing. And then when it looks like they might be able to catch the puck, he just goes and snaps it. So he's actually not even being locked down for the, you know, the small duration of it. What's the actual set to coil duration? 8 seconds, and then it snaps and does 4.5 seconds of break stun. That's like 8.5 seconds that Monkey King was locked down and through a BKB. It seems silly to me. You either stay in the coil duration or you snap it straight away. You can't half-ass it.
And we see with the lineup that they have, like we were saying, this Phoenix Supernova is going to be a bit of an issue. Like Radiant have great ways to protect it, and we were saying in the draft that, you know, you brought up the lifesteal, and the Monkey King, I'm not saying it's looking bad, but we're just seeing, man, the Supernova is going off in a majority of these fights, and when it's doing that much, then it feels like when you don't draft the way to get rid of the Supernova, because it was first pick here from Cignal. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, and even like you see you get coiled on the monkey, you pop BKB, why not pop Wukongs as well? Like, it's not the greatest, but you know they're going to commit on you with the with that coil, and if you pop the Wukongs there, then it means that Radiant, like that Supernova, they can't protect it as much because now you're going into a Wukongs. Like, I don't know, it's well, Lilgun trying to force a fight here. James is invised up, so this might just be the perfect angle, honestly, for where James is running. They've got the vision as well, walking up the high ground. They've even got this outpost control. This might not be a good spot here for Radiant. Oh, sorry, I should say for Dire. They've actually moved to the northern side. Marvel drops Arena nicely onto 2 with Supernova once again. It's going to disperse the rest of it, but immense amount of damage. They deal with the Aegis that Illuminate claims the kill. Supernova controlling. Jamesy drops the coil as well. It's going to run straight into 1, 2, 3, dropping the Wukong now with the bound the strike. Jamesy just gets the face shift off, but can he get anything more to keep his life? A blink up to the northern side. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3, BKB, TP out. The perfect timing from the Morphling. Beautifully done. Hishgee will fall to the western side, and that's another 5-man wipe back to back as Cignal Ultra now have a 13,000 net worth lead.
And there's that Skadi pick up by the Morphling as well, so even now some of the healing that might be coming out from the Monkey King not going to be all that impactful. On top of that, they've got this Keeper of the Light, and I feel like, you know, even though the right-click damage isn't really what's killing you right now coming from Cignal, you got to use the blinding light, especially if you get an Arena of Blood. That's just some free damage by being able to push them back into those soldiers around the edge.
Bad.
There's that overwhelming blink. Does next to nothing.
And now Sanctity, they're just going to try and burst him down here.
Combo off though.
So die without the heroes. James is even jumping him forward as well. Mars trying to protect himself with the bulwark. And finally drop the arena. They are diving incredibly deep. They're going to be able to keep the life of Sanctity, but I mean, they just recognize how ahead they are right now from Cignal. I'm going to try and buy back Marvel. Wants to give them no opportunity to be able to disengage, but he doesn't have the arena. Grimzx even popping the ultimate just in case there's any extra onslaught coming up. And now Cignal can turn. You see they're both all just grouped up in this little tree line trying to use the fog, and in they go. James on top of the side, gets coil onto 2, 1, 2, 3. Has to commit with the ultimate. It's a nice sound. The track locked in just on the outside here, but now with the BKB pop, they're going to try and look to turn the telekinesis. Unable to get the accurate shift. Abat is in trouble, but still without the control of the waveform down. He's A-okay. James is still going to work. This is the puck effect. When you don't have stuns, you can't leave this hero in the draft. Finally, we see the puck die, but man, he's had way too much impact.
Yeah, they're going to continue the push. Keeper of the Light purely picked just to be able to push out these waves, the buyback. Going to try and make something happen with it, but you need to be careful. As soon as he sees where that's coming from, Van's going to be looking to position himself to blink forward, stun. Abat's got the burst potential as well. Maybe not now, as the death timers are starting to run a little bit low.
They want to go top. They want to try and get another tier 3 at least. Maybe they'll back off afterwards. Still sticking around. Erice has got the supernova off there. No epi. Grims, no primal split as well. Looks like with the glyph, might force him away. Marvel's going to try and jump in forward. Where's the stun for Abat? But once again, he's going to wait for him. They cut down the tree. Now the monkey's in trouble. A beautiful supernova straight on top of the Monkey King. They don't have any way to be able to protect him. Monkey down. No buyback. They'll turn to Hishgee. One after another. Single jump in forward. Mars will pay the price. And that's going to be what she wrote. Cignal Ultra. I mean, there's still tier 1, tier 2 down bot, but I do not see how they come back in this game.
It's just about, they're trying for the burst potential. They get the position 5, but, I mean, does it really do much of anything? Finally using the blinding light. But yeah, oh, nice toss. There we go. I needed to see a transitioning item. I needed to see more team play around the Keeper of the Light and using his blinding light a little bit more effectively, and there is no excuse why with the draft that they had that they did not pick a puck. It is pretty ridiculous to me. You know, the